Hello, I'm Citrus, and you're looking at the high-grade Genoace Custom from the ill-fated Gundam AGE series. This is the second part of my little Gunpla vacation. With this kit, I think Bandai was trying to do what they finally did with the Greys from IBO, which was to make something new, basic, and modular that can be reprinted in a bunch of collectible colors and varieties. That never happened with this, of course, because the Genoace was only ever released in 3 versions, including this one. They probably didn't sell terribly well, judging by their lukewarm reception on release, and they aren't reprinted too often. As a result, like most AGE kits, they are a bit rare, so their prices on Amazon tend to be a little higher than retail. As we're going along, hopefully you can see that the build is incredibly simple. The parts count for the whole kit is pretty low, but they were used fairly effectively. For instance, the head is made of only 4 parts, but the faceplate is appropriately gray as opposed to white. The whole kit is white actually, so I added some red detail to all the armor tick marks since that has worked out pretty well before. The chest uses the typical ball socket connection for the shoulders, which is odd because the molding along the top of the chest implies that this kit was supposed to have shoulder joints similar to the AGE 1, which has a peg connection instead. This means the AGE 1 and the Genoace can't easily swap their arms and torsos, which makes sense canonically because the AGE 1 and Genoace are from 2 distinct generations of mobile suits, but a major gimmick of the entire Gundam AGE series was the modularity concept, so it seems really weird to me that 2 kits from a line based on this idea would have incompatible parts. Of course, this didn't help Gundam AGE become a crossover hit in the first place, but the idea that different kits can easily swap parts for customization did wonders to sell kits for build fighters and IBO. And if you got started with Gunpla in the last few years, you probably know all about that. The waist is super simple as well, but it oddly does not feature a swinging hip joint even though the AGE 1 has one, as did many kits in the high-grade 00 line that came before. But here is actually the best part of the kit. The Genoace probably has the most flexible waist of any high-grade kit. What's really clever is that the shape of the chest keeps the middle of the waist joint from separating as it moves around, so the Genoace has quite possibly also the most sturdy waist as well. I mean, this whole connection doesn't really look that great, but it does the job. The arms are probably the weakest part of the kit. The elbow has only a single blocky joint, and the whole thing looks rather chunky and featureless. I forgot a polycap here that would hold the shield in place, but I fixed it afterwards. The wrist has an extra joint that I think is meant to help with the lack of elbow articulation, but it doesn't do all that much. On the bright side, the little thruster bit in the shoulder armor is its own separate piece, so that's a detail you won't have to paint yourself. The feet are really simple as well, only 4 pieces, but they use the 00 ankle design, so they're fairly flexible. All the gray needs to be painted in, however, or the whole foot will look kind of awkward with just a white square connecting them to the legs. And I hate doing this, because it really breaks up the build sequence flow, but I have to assemble the hip joint separately. And I just now realized that I could have just put the thigh armor on the bottom of the joint and then stuck the upper knee piece through the whole thing to complete the assembly. Crap. Oh well. Anyway, I really like the look of the legs. They're probably my favorite part of the Genoace mechanical design, but the proportions are a little problematic. Unlike the AGE 1's legs, the legs here are pretty unbalanced. The thighs are fairly short and the lower legs are rather long, so kneeling poses don't look very good. The leg side ankle connection is strange too because it doesn't allow the foot to tip downwards at all. And here's the completed Genoace Custom. It's a really neat, quirky little package. As usual, I'll be back with some top coat for the full review, and until then, thank you for joining me in this build, and I'll see you all next time.